All right, so Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce are having plenty of fun at the American Century Celebrity Golf Championship in Lake Tahoe, and they're just two of the many NFL stars playing in the event. Kelce was asked about the Chiefs' Super Bowl 55 loss to the Bucs this week, and here's what he had to say. Quote, "That was pretty embarrassing, man, taking that loss down there in Tampa, man. If you're not motivated after taking a shellacking like that, I don't know what's wrong with you. I want to go win one more than I ever wanted to get one in the first place, and that's everybody in that building, man." All right, Jeff, I'll turn to you first. How are the Chiefs preparing for another run at the Super Bowl?
Well, I've had conversations filled with several players on the Chiefs, and they all do sort of have that same vibe that Kelce alluded to there, which, by the way, is a pretty scary thing when you consider the fact that they did get to the Super Bowl, and it felt like part of the reason they lost it was just how decimated they were on the offensive line. They have reboosted that position. They are reloaded on the offensive line, and they've returned pretty much everybody else. So it is a dangerous situation when you're a Chiefs team that is loaded up and also motivated. So I think that Kelce speaks for his team there, and I think as a result, the rest of the league should probably be on notice.
Well, if they can make it back to the Super Bowl, they would be just the first team since the Patriots in 2016 to 2018 to reach the Super Bowl 3 straight times, and that's only happened once in the past 25 years. Not bad company to keep. So moving from a team that's trying to replicate the Patriots to the Patriots, as their all-pro cornerback Stephon Gilmore skipped the team's mandatory minicamp while he holds out for a new contract. Gilmore, the 2019 Defensive Player of the Year, is due a $7 million base salary this season. That's the final of a 5-year deal he inked with New England back in 2017. Here's what he had to say to veteran NFL reporter Josina Anderson. Quote, "I just want what I'm worth, however that plays out. Every player should be paid what they're worth. That's just how it is. Hopefully we can find some common ground and get it situated. I just know what I bring to the table and my style of play." All right, Jeff, where do things stand with Gilmore and the Patriots?
Well, Gilmore is projected to earn this season. He's slated to earn $7 million, and that puts him definitely at the bottom portion of the starting cornerback hierarchy, 25th in the NFL, for a guy who is a shutdown corner for the Patriots. The problem here is that the Patriots have already moved money around when it comes to his contract, so his cap hit is actually pretty high. This is not as easy as simply incentivizing him or maybe throwing him a few $1 million just on top of this. It likely would take a new contract or an extension to make Gilmore happy. One added note that we should point out, he did have off-season surgery. If he's not ready for training camp, that would be not necessarily requiring a holdout, which would cost him $50,000 a day. He would essentially be a hold-in camp and potentially still on the sideline. So a little bit of a sticky situation as Gilmore does approach training camp for the Patriots and that potential extension.
To hold in. I like what you did there. We see that on occasion from players looking for a new deal, but that tight hamstring or whatever it might be keeps them off the field until it's done. So, RC, the Patriots aren't frequently known for being the team that breaks the bank for one player. Do they need to change that mindset for Gilmore?
They aren't. I mean, you look at the Patriots offseason, we were raving about what they did early in free agency, but they didn't just go out and break the bank for anybody. The Brinks truck wasn't necessarily backed up to front doors. They went out and they made smart moves. They got value guys. They got guys to build a team around. And when you have a dude like J.C. Jackson, who's undrafted, who goes and is one of the top interception leaders in the league, you feel like you can develop talent. And when you look at this team, it seems like they're based and they're willing to just put piece by piece together in order to build the team that can win a championship. And so now looking at Stephon Gilmore, he's 30 years old now. He's been injury riddled the last season. Yes, it's hard to forget what he was when he was the defensive player of the year. But if he's going to go in and ask for Jalen Ramsey money, I don't believe that Bill Belichick and the Patriots will be willing to do that. So he talked about getting this situated. If getting this situated is getting him paid more than he's getting paid now, because we all know he is worth more than that, then that makes sense. But if he's going to ask to be the top paid corner in the league, I don't think the Patriots are willing to do that. So it will be truly interesting to see how this plays out. And you heard Jeff talk about hold in. Listen, there was a guy that once played in Jacksonville, and I think he had like a tight back or hamstring injury, because those are hard to prove. Now that dude got $100 million in L.A.
Well, listen, RC, you hit it on the head, man. The one thing about the Patriots, as it relates to the salary cap, they have like one big middle class. You know, it's rare that you see guys that's breaking the bank as far as top tier guys. Everyone kind of floating in that middle class. And I think we all can agree that Stephon Gilmore is underpaid. You know, he a couple years ago, he was the defensive player of the year, but, you know, just with the Patriot way, they know how to go after certain guys, plug them in, ask them to do a certain job. And I don't think the Patriots are going to go out there and break the bank for a guy who's 30 years old as a defensive back. So, everyone on this panel feels like Stephon Gilmore is underpaid, but the way New England rolls, they're not going to go out there and go break out a new contract for him. So unless he gets traded, I just don't see a new contract for Stephon Gilmore.
Worth noting, with an eye towards the future, that both Stephon Gilmore and J.C. Jackson, who RC was talking about, are currently scheduled to be free agents after this season. Hey, we told you this already, but a reminder, the 2021 ESPYs will take place tomorrow night at 8 Eastern on ABC. It will be presented live from the rooftop at Pier 17 at the Seaport in New York City. Some of the world's best athletes and biggest stars will join host Anthony Mackie for the 3-hour event. And one of the most anticipated categories at the ESPYs is the best play. And the final 4 nominees include plays from DeAndre Hopkins, Simone Biles, Jamil Roberts, and DK Metcalf. Let's take a look at those 4 moments a little bit closer. First, of course, the Hail Murray. DeAndre Hopkins caught this desperation pass from Kyler Murray over 3 defenders in the final seconds of the Cardinals' Week 10 game against the Bills last season, giving Arizona an improbable 32-30 win. Wow, and you can't have a list of the best plays without Simone Biles, who became the first woman to land the famous Yurchenko double pike vault in competition in May. Biles will compete for the U.S. Olympic team in Tokyo later this month, and it doesn't get much more dramatic than this. Marshall Sr., Jamil Roberts, scored a goal in overtime of the national championship game against Indiana to give the unseeded Thundering Herd their first national title in soccer. And back to football for a second. We all remember DK Metcalf's incredible chase down of Budda Baker. The final nominee, the Seahawks receiver reached a max speed of more than 22 miles per hour to prevent Baker from returning a Russell Wilson interception for a touchdown back in their Week 7 matchup. Damien, I love that play. Which play of these 4 would you be voting for if you had the final vote?
Well, listen, Simone Biles is in a category all in of itself.
Yes.
But if we're going to stick with football, I'm going with DK Metcalf, man, because listen, that's all hustle and heart right there. When you have a turnover and then you got to sprint all the way down. I mean, this dude took it to about 3 or 4 other levels to go down and chase Budda Baker, who is not slow, by the way. So kudos to DK Metcalf. That's who I'm giving my vote to.
Hey, I'm with you on Simone Biles, man. Anytime you got moves that they're naming after you, you should have your own category.
Right.
So we should just give her an award at the ESPYs and just call her the GOAT of all GOATs, and we'll just let that be that. But ain't no way I'm finna come out here and say DK Metcalf chasing down a safety is the play of the year. Now, I also don't like my other option, because now I gotta pick a wide receiver going up and Jimboing, tapping the top of his head over 3 defenders. But that DeAndre Hopkins play, the Hail Murray, was absolutely crazy. I thought the game was over. We got a 5'6" quarterback rolling out to his left, throwing and looking at the Jumbotron as his superhuman wide receiver goes up with hands that must be quadruple X and catches a big time ball over these dudes in the end zone. And it was the "you got mossed" of the year. And the only thing I'm gonna say about the DK Metcalf play is this: it couldn't have been the play of the year if I would have intercepted it. You know why? Because he would have caught me on the other 30, so he would have never got up to 22 miles per hour.
Come on now, RC. We know you're fast. You give yourself credit.